In humans, there are individual differences in the desire to exercise. Some people experience a runner's high that is comparable to an opioid high, and some people have a lot of trouble initiating a workout. Research has found that wheel running can be a rewarding experience for rodents, and it can act as a conditioning stimulus that is similar to opioid administration. We use this in our condition place preference chamber. This apparatus we used with 72 adult male Wistar rats that had three distinct phenotypes for running tendencies. These were established with our colleagues at University of Missouri Columbia. There were low volume runners, high volume runners, and wild type animals. The low volume runners did not run a lot, and as you can tell, the high volume runners would run a lot. We established these phenotypes with Mizzou, and then we confirmed their phenotypes by giving them, all animals, 7 days free access to a running wheel, and we recorded the distances they ran and how long they ran for. And we averaged these numbers and found that the low volume runners were significantly different from high volume and wild type together. The low volume runners ran a lot less and a lot less frequently, a lot slower. And then after the 7 days of establishing their phenotypes, we did a baseline preference in the condition place preference chambers. They have, in this apparatus, there are two distinct chambers that have visual and tactile cues that the rats can tell each chamber apart. And there is a center starting chamber where we lift the doors up and then give them access to the entire apparatus if that is what we are going to be doing for that test that day. So first we do a baseline preference where they're given access to the entire apparatus. And then following that, there are 8 days of conditioning where we do on and off days where we condition one chamber with a rewarding stimuli. In this case, the rewarding stimuli were either 12-hour access to running wheel in their home cage prior to testing, or a subcutaneous injection of morphine. Animals that did not receive the morphine injections and were given the running wheel instead did get a subcutaneous injection of saline. On off days, all animals received a subcutaneous injection of saline. And then following this conditioning, we did extinction for 8 total days, where we did not pair the animals with their rewarding stimulus. They were just given free access to the entire apparatus. And on the final day, they got one last reinstatement of their reward. And what we found is that the low volume runners have a very unique phenotype from the high volume and wild type runners. High volume runners were very similar to wild type. The low volume runners have a unique relationship with the rewarding stimuli, both running wheel and the morphine injections. The low volume runners have the unique ability to extinguish associations of their assigned chamber with a rewarding stimuli very quickly. And we also found that the drug morphine was comparable rewarding stimuli to the running wheel across all phenotypes. In future directions, we hope to assess running patterns more, pace changes throughout the duration of each running burst, and analyze the unique traits of low volume runners further beyond the condition place preference apparatus, for example, in hedonic behaviors. And we hope to replicate the current study to possibly find place preference and reinstatement differences among all phenotypes. Thank you so much for listening.